how there is education policy in India, how it has been changed and modified before independence and after independence. And I will try to correlate all these modifications, reforms in the education policy with the new education policy 2020. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So the new policy, which is developed in the year 2020 by Government of India, the Ministry of Human Resources and Development. So it is a simply it has to develop an education system deeply rooted in Indian ethos. This is what very important. So actually, what I understand from this new education policy, let me tell you, nothing is new. Nothing is new. What they did in this whole policy, whatever good points are there from the beginning of education in India, almost I take to Vedic period to till today, they try to take the good points of everything and they wanted to implement in the new education policy. That's why they are telling that rooted in Indian ethos, which has the capability to provide high quality education to compete in the global world. The curriculum and pedagogy must develop a sense of respect towards fundamental duties, Constitution of India, and have a deep bond with the country. All these points were narrated in our education policies even in the ancient times. That's what I want to stress. Develop a sense of pride and respect. This is what very important. Normally, whatever education policy existing, uh, Indian students, fortunately or unfortunately, they are not able to project themselves as a pride citizens of India. That's what they want to, they have things. And pride and respect for the country and with the response for human rights, sustainable development, global well-being, thereby they reflecting. So the key principles of NT 2020, the first thing is respect for diversity and local context in all curriculum. I will, of course, expand later. Pedagogy and policy, respect for diversity and local context, equity and inclusion, community participation, use of technology, emphasis on conceptual understanding, develop unique capabilities, critical thinking and creativity, continuous review on regulatory systems. So let me see the respect for diversity and local context. So here, mostly what is happening in the present education system, even from class 3rd or 4th, that completely curriculum is highly focused and highly diversified. It says that even from the schooling only, whether you want to become engineer, whether you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, like that it is highly diversified. So there's no any complete what you call holistic approach. That is the problem in the present education system. And in very, there is no much importance is given exactly what is required in that particular location. Similarly, equity and inclusion means everybody who should take with us as far this education is concerned. And the new education policy also looking for a what you call the wholesome participation of the community. So when a student is pursuing education, as per the new education policy, he is not part of one institution, he is a part of whole community. That kind of culture they want to introduce. Of course, at the same time, usage of latest technology is also part of it. And mostly the rote learning they want to eliminate and conceptual understanding they want to create. And while diversification, while teaching all kind of what you call diversified topics, but yet they want to focus on the unique capabilities of student. A student may be interested in the photography, a student may be interested in the less culture, a student may be interested in the technology. So that they want to identify and they give the special emphasis, not forcefully, not forcefully. That's the another important feature of our NEP 2020. Similarly, from the school education, So they want to reduce the baggage which is being carried by the student. Mostly they want to give the kind of what you call assignments or activities which provides critical thinking and creativity among the students. That's what very, very important. So here main thing they want to focus the community participation. That means the student is a part of community. The second is it is completely conceptual understanding, not by remembering or reproducing. So higher orders of what you call it learning. Okay. Then critical thinking and creativity. These 3 points they want to focus in the new education policy, right? The next, so now that's what the main focus of new education policy. If I hope you followed it. 3 points mainly they're stressing. Now what I will try whether this whatever emphasis is given in the new education policy, whether they are there in our olden education system or not. That's what I want to tell you. Then I want to correlate. So if you see the historical perspective of our education system, it starts with Vedic period. Then the new process came, that is a Buddhist and Jainist system. Then we have ancient Indian universities, and then we have evaluation of education, Indian education policy. So briefly, I will try to explain what is happening in all this process, right? Say, for example, if we take Vedic period, so you see, try to understand, it is 1500 BC to 500 BC. That means here BC means here before common era. That's what in the new education policy they're telling that. It's not after Christ or before Christ, but they have taken the words like that before common era, right? So if you see the in a Vedas, most of you know that the premier and the foremost Veda is the Rig Veda. uh, I have read it briefly to understand what is exactly in the Rig Veda. Mostly talks about the morality and the social behavior. Is it clear? So Rig Veda always teaches everybody is equal. We have to honor everyone. Every citizen of a village or a community or town, they're all equal. And everybody has to perform his or her duty, what is assigned to him. And others should respect it. See, for example, let me tell you, in my when I was schoolboy young in my village, so I hail from a small village in the Khammam district of Telangana state. Almost only there are 800 population in my village when I was young. In that village, we have all community peoples are there. So community in sense, not by caste I'm talking, by what you call there by activity. So we have farmers, we have Brahmins, we perform the pujas, we have Vaishyas, we used to run the shops, we have barbers, we have potters, we have everybody is there, but we all together we used to live, we used to call by not by names, what you call it, some kind of something, mama, baba, like that we used to call them, irrespective of their activity. That's what they wanted in the present generation is missing. It is completely divide and rule is going on, but they want to bring back that kind of culture which is prevailing in the olden days. That's what the meaning of actually Rig Veda was teaching. So friends, the Vedas are not any religious text. They only talk about the way we can live. That's what the all way. That's what I understood it. So Rig Veda was talking about the how together together and share the activities. Second Veda, Sama Veda, it all talks about the music system. All Indian classical music has developed from the Sama Veda. Of course, later a lot of Western music system has come, but the Sama Veda is considered as the birth of Indian classical music. Whether you call it Bharatanatyam, all kind of whatever mode of Natyas there in India, all are what originated from Sama Veda. Next, if we take the Yajurveda, Yajurveda always speaks about the sacrifices. The sacrifices doesn't mean that giving life. It's not that. Sacrificing means whatever we have it should be shared among all the people. So all are equal. Say somebody may have what you call they have made, let us say, grains. Somebody may have something. Somebody may have something. So, but people should have a what you call culture of sharing among self. That's what they mean, that the sacrificing yourself to the society. Exactly, if I am correct, Lakshmi Madam is there. What that cross in the what a Christian, that is what cross. If you see that, the cross says that when you cut I means, so it is mine. It is my property. It is my family. So that you have to cut it. It is ours. We all same. That has come from the Yajurveda. So we have to sacrifice, we have to give, we have to share whatever we have with all the people in the community. That's what Yajurveda was teaching. Then if you take the other Veda, this totally talks about the medical things, medicines. Whatever medicines we have today, they were discussed in that Veda in different form. Okay, for example, you take in that only